Today, I want to speak to the people who are feeling lost in life. If that's you, if you are struggling, you do not know what to do in life, you're kind of like, man, I should have my shit figured out by now. What's going on? Why am I not further along? If you're having thoughts like that, I just wanted to share with you, I've had those same thoughts. Sometimes I still do, but ultimately, I've kind of charted out how life works, and this is what I figured out. And I wanted to share it with you because I think that this mindset and this little short session here that you've decided to join me for is going to be impactful for you and going to help you feel better about your situation. Okay? So when we ask ourselves the question, man, why am I not further along? What is the point of life? What am I going to do with my life? You have to understand there is no one answer. All right, you think that there should be an answer. Oh, yes, I'm going to be a doctor. That is my one thing. That is the point of life for me. And that is actually just not the case. The point of life is that we level up. We level up and we enjoy and have experiences, okay? So part of it is the enjoyment of the experience, and part of it is the growing of our character. Okay, now not every experience we're going to enjoy, but every experience is, if we let it, is going to grow our character. And I want to equate this situation to like a video game, and that's what I've kind of mapped it out, like a role-playing game. And I drew it out here, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. But if you feel lost, I've been there. I know what it feels like, where you're like, why is everyone else doing better than me? Why do I not feel good about my life? What's going on here? And what I'm going to explain to you is that is a good spot to be in life. It doesn't feel like it's a good spot. The negative experiences that we have do not feel like they're getting us further along, but they are, okay? I make a decision, I get a result. From that result, I gain skill and knowledge, and then I apply that knowledge, and it allows me to walk through a new door. That's how I think about that. So if you're in an area where you're just sitting there like, holy crap, I don't know how to figure out life, I've been there. This is what I figured out. You're right where you need to be. And once you just understand this mindset, you're going to be able to kind of navigate life a lot easier and happier. Okay, so I am 28. Okay, so this little timeline up here, and I have to put my board a little bit at a weird angle because the sun coming through the window, as you can see here, it would be all on there. So it's not going to be super clear, but I'm gonna explain this to you. So I'm 28. And I did my best to draw this out. So this is the timeline of the 28 years that I've lived on life. And all of these different colors are different experiences that I've had, okay? This is not absolutely directly correlated in any way. This is just a way to think about life and what has happened. So I have this orange experience at the beginning of my life. I've got this blue one and this green one kind of happening. Then I got this black experience, another orange, another green. We got a red experience and another blue, okay? So these just categorize different experiences, okay? Now, during that experience, I have gained what I call a skill point, okay? And I'm going to equate this to a video game because this is just a way that it makes sense to me in my mind and how I navigate life. And this kind of helps you see where your place is and what is going on here, okay? So when you make a decision, you either like or dislike that decision. So for me, I've done like a sales roofing job, and I made that decision, and I disliked it, all right? I'm like, crap, that decision sucked. Now I've got, my life is a mess. I hate my life, whatever it is, okay? I'm having all these negative experiences, okay? Even though I disliked it, I gained a skill. And when I mean skill, I gained either a mindset, an actual skill that I can apply. I learned what I don't want to do. I leveled up my character and I refined my character, which is me as a person. Okay, so I made a decision. So step one is we got to just make some sort of decision. So what happens is I make the decision, whether I like it or dislike it, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter until I made the decision. Well, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to dislike it. It doesn't matter which one you like or dislike. You just have to make a decision. The more we worry about this, the less decisions we make. So the more decisions we make, the more we find out if we like or dislike it, the more skills we gain, and the more we walk through new doors. Okay, so here's kind of how this works. So during this orange period of my life, and this is, like I said, not congruent or exact. This is just a framework of thinking, just to teach you a point, and this is the way that I wanted to draw it out. During this orange period of my life, I did something, and orange got me a skill point in the physical. So we have the mental, spiritual, physical, interpersonal, and financial. These are our skill trees, okay? So these are our skill trees, and what happens is when we make a decision, we get a skill, and that skill lines up with one of these skills, and then what happens is we have the opportunity to walk through different doors in life. So let me explain this real quick here. I went through this and I gained a physical skill point. Okay, cool. I made this decision here and did this, and then I got a spiritual skill point and a financial skill point, or maybe two or three spiritual skill points, because that period was a little bit longer. Then I do this, I get an interpersonal skill point. Go up here, I get a couple mental skill points, make some more spiritual skill points, and some more financial skill points, okay? So every decision that I made, whether I liked it or disliked it, I got a skill. And depending on the decisions that I made and the path in life that I went, maybe I made the decision to go to church. Maybe I made the decision to try a sales job. Maybe I made the decision to ask that girl out. Maybe I made the decision to have a party with my friends. Maybe I made the decision to get super high. Whatever it is, okay? So we made a decision, and we learn some sort of skill point from making that decision, okay? And what happens is once you make that decision, the opportunities that you have in life change, okay? So somebody who made the decision to go to school, get a good job, they went to school, they studied hard, they got good grades. Now they have some doors that come up to them, okay? So door number one, if we think about it, we got three, let's just say three doors. So it could be a job, it could be a relationship, whatever the door is. So life will present you with an opportunity. So I made a decision to walk through a door that I had earlier in life, and now I get some more doors to choose from. So now another decision comes up, and this decision only became available to me because I earned enough skill points. Okay, so for example, let's just use the doctor analogy. I learned enough skill points, theoretical skill points, in order for a door to be presented to me where I could earn the opportunity to walk through a door that becomes a doctor. All right. And once again, these are just, what I'm teaching you today is mindset. I'm not teaching you literally how life works, that you're going to get 2 skill points when you do this and that. This is just a mindset of what I've learned based on my decisions from feeling lost and realizing that, man, I did this decision. And this is exactly how I felt. Man, I did this decision, and I did that decision, and I did that decision, and I really got outside my comfort zone. I really learned that, and I did this and that, and why am I not further along than somebody else? Why is this person getting these results and I'm not getting the same results? It's because every decision we make gives us a unique skill, which it gives us unique doors that we get to walk through. So the point of life and the game is to enjoy the experience, to gain skills, and as we gain those skills, we get to walk through new doors. All right. Some of you just like the idea more abstract of, hey, God's guiding my life. Well, God, let's just say God's guiding your life. God is taking you to this decision because God wants to teach you this skill, and then God sends you to go do this and that, so you learn these two skills, and this skill, and this skill, and this skill. So when this point comes, you have the skill points necessary to unlock that door, okay? So we have a purpose, we have unique skills, and it's almost like we're a role-playing game character, and God has doors that he wants us to walk through, you could maybe think of, and God is taking us to get enough skill points that we can unlock this door. So when I see, man, why was my friend Bob able to walk through that door and I just can't walk through that door? Why did he get that result and I didn't? Because he had enough skill points to unlock that door, and I did not have the amount of skill points needed to unlock that door, because I was going to go through, I had to go through this door, and then this door, and then that door, okay? And everyone's life kind of gets weaved together, and we all get to make an impact. And generally that impact is when I've unlocked skills, when I've made decisions and I unlock skills to go through doors, I can then help people who are back here get through the doors that they want to get through, okay? But I had to make a decision, learn a skill, and walk through a door to get to the understanding. So let's just say, for example, I don't know, let's call it the spiritual category, okay? The spiritual category is just understanding the spiritual realm and how that works, okay? So let's just say my path gave me enough skill points, spiritual skill points, to see life this way and to share that with you so you can get those skill points a lot easier. So you made the decision to watch this video, and what took me years to develop the skill points to see it this way, you get to see this, you get to earn those skill points in a similar way just by watching the video. Okay, so if you're lost in life, here's what we need to do. You need to just do something, okay? If I'm sitting around and I'm watching TikTok all day, or I'm just working a dead-end job and I just feel lost, I feel stuck, I need to make some sort of decision. Right now, you're not making any new decisions. The problem is you're not making any new decisions. So you're not leveling up your character. And you don't know, the thing is, in a video game, you know, oh, when I do this decision, I get this skill. The fun part of life, the game of life, is that when you make a decision, you don't know what skills you're earning. You don't know what category of skill you're earning, and you also don't know what doors you're going to unlock. So it's kind of like gambling. If you have a gambling addiction, you'll love this. All right, so what I'm teaching you right now is how to have a gambling addiction. And what I need to do is just make a decision that is different than what I'm already doing. Once I do that, I can unlock new skills and new skill points, which unlock new doors. And once I go through that door, I may find that the decisions that I'm making, I get more likes than dislike. But if I've made the decision, and I've disliked it, why am I still making that same decision? If I work at McDonald's and I hate my life, I need to make a different decision, okay? And there's two things. There's two keys here before we make a decision. Number one is motivation needed. You either have to have a pain or pleasure point. There has to be some reason you want to make a new decision, okay? You have to have some sort of reason why, and I can't tell you what that is. You have to figure that out. Maybe you just had a kid and you're realizing you don't have the bills, so the pain of not being able to provide your kid is enough to motivate you to make a new decision. But the key to life, to the enjoyment and leveling up of life, is to continuously make new decisions. So we have new experiences and gain new skills. However, boundaries are key here. One thing that I do want to make a caveat is we need to have some sort of boundaries, okay? We need to have some sort of maybe moral framework or spiritual framework or something like that. I can't just be doing whatever I want. Oh, let me try killing somebody. Let's see what skill I learned from that. We're not doing that, okay? There has to be some boundaries, and maybe those boundaries are I just as long as it's legal and I'm not hurting anyone. Sometimes people say, as long as it aligns with God's and man's laws, I'm okay with it. Maybe you have some personal value system that you base your decisions off of. You need to have some of that. So your boundaries are your values, maybe the laws, maybe your religious boundaries or laws you got to follow, or religious rules, whatever it is. But we need to have boundaries, okay? And the reason we need to have boundaries is because if we make a decision that is outside of those boundaries, let's just say we steal from a bank, okay? Because the decision was outside of the boundaries of society, now the door that I get to walk through is the jail door. And I might be sitting in there for a while learning a skill. And I dislike the process. So while you'll still maybe learn a skill in there, we need to have a level of boundaries before we make decisions. And it really comes down to this. Am I going to be financially okay if I make this decision? Should I take out $1 million of debt and start a company I've never tried? Is that a good idea? Is that alignment with my boundaries? And you need to come up with whatever these are. Humans, in order to be successful, need to have some sort of boundaries. In my personal life, I found this to be the case. If I'm out acting outside of the law is going to make me make the decision for me once they find out, what I've been doing. If I'm living outside of those boundaries, okay? So that's just pretty much the gist of this, all right? We make a new decision. We get some motivation. We make a new decision within our boundaries, our value system. We either like or dislike what we've done, but we get a skill, okay? Maybe I go through, let's just say I go through this door, I hated this door. I go through this door, I hated this door. I go through this door. This door sucked too. But then when we get up to these doors over here, I go all the way over here, and this door is on 100% happiness door, okay? So, kind of think about it like a video game here. It's just fun to play the game and to help people. So maybe, my values are I want to help people, and I make decisions that only help people. So we need to have some sort of boundaries. And as we, sometimes when we make the wrong decision, for example, we make a bad decision and we go to jail, sometimes that levels up our spiritual life. I've seen that happen with certain people. They were man, I was selling drugs or whatever, and then I made the decision to sell drugs, and the cop made the decision to pull me over. And then I went to jail, and I started reevaluating what am I doing with my life and stuff like that. So there's no pressure to perform. Life is just a series of decisions that we make, and we either like or dislike them. And if we dislike them, we should try and get out. In my experience, try and get out of that decision as fast as possible. Okay, I tried this relationship. I went on a date. Man, I really dislike this. This person really doesn't vibe with me. I made the decision. I learned that I don't like those characteristics, and so on. So that's pretty much what I can describe to you as how to kind of figure out your life if you feel lost. This is kind of just a framework. I like to draw stuff so you guys have something to look at. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share. So if you found this video valuable, please share it with a friend. Check out some of my other videos. Maybe hit the like button here. I also have a store in my bio. All these YouTube videos I'm making, obviously I'm not monetized yet, are for free. So I have some awesome products available on my store, which all you'd have to do is basically put in your email account, put in your email, make a username and password, and then you can buy something. And that's the way that I would potentially make an income. If you felt like this free video was valuable to you and you'd like to support me financially, maybe you'll find a product you like on my store. And everything on there has an 180-day money-back guarantee. So if you do purchase something from that and you use the whole thing and you dislike it, you can actually just return it and get your money right back. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. If you found the video valuable, share it with a friend and have a wonderful day.